Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully you like that little screen there. Brody Bentz, guy behind the scenes for us, made that pretty sweet. Also, totally random that it just so happened I'm pointing at all of those testimonials as well. But happy to have you guys with us. Yesterday was awesome, man. I hope everybody had the same type of success with the tools. I saw a lot of tweets today as well from one of my posts, people just having massive February. It's good to see. I was treading water in February, and yesterday, really just post All-Star break, NBA has been fantastic to me, Greg. I know you can say the same.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like exactly the same for me as it's been for you, which is not a coincidence, right? You and I are getting our bets from the same place. You and I both have notifications on, so it stands to reason. The things that you and I are betting, I'm sure there's some bets I place that you don't, and vice versa, but the overlap's probably like 75, 80% of our bets. It's not like I was doing terribly at the beginning of February, but a lot of stuff that's kind of echoed in the results of my thread where it was like I was just consider like win a day, lose a day, win a day, lose a day. I was just trading profits and losses. And then since the All-Star break, it's been profits every single day. And then particularly for my thread, I mean, I was around like 500 something dollars for my starting $100 with the Bankroll challenge. And now it's up to nearly $1,000 post All-Star break. So it's funny. You go like 90 days and you build it up to a certain number, and then it doubles that number in like 5 days.
Yeah. Well, because you start to see the returns accelerate as well.
Yeah.
I did find it funny. By the way, happy to have you guys with us. If you don't mind, take a single second to atone for your sins this fine afternoon, actually. I'm used to doing the strategy show. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. 100% free to do so. Appreciate you in advance. Leave a comment, too. Helps us out. Tell your friends about the show. Tell your friends about the tools. Shit. I mean, why not? Do them a service. When the holiday rolls around, don't get them anything. Just tell them about it. You know, that's more than you could do for most people. But I laughed when you had posted like that you disagree that you can't start with $100 bankroll, and what you had done, and people are like, well, you're poor, so you can't. And I'm thinking they have no idea that Greg is just doing this from a like content challenge perspective to show that it can be done. Meanwhile, you got people in your comments being like, just retire, dude. There's no point.
And the other thing, too, is I started with $25 when I was in college. I just didn't have more money at that point in time, and I just played for $1. It was DFS at the time. I played for $1 a day, figured out kind of how to play a little bit, won a GPP. Then that $20 was a couple $100 because contests used to be a lot smaller. And betting could more or less be the same thing, especially with our portfolio EV tools, where it just tells you what to bet. You could put in your bankroll amount, and it'll tell you how much to bet on each play as well, which is what my bankroll thread is. Started with the $100, just went right from the recommendations from the tools. Like the first day I made $2. Then after that, and it just accelerates, like you said. And now it's at a point where within the last week, I've had 2 individual days where I won more money than what the initial starting bankroll was. And the initial starting bankroll was 90 slates ago.
Yeah, man. Up and down. That's all it is. Up and down and then up. You zoom out, it's up. Go back and look at the stock market crash from COVID times in early 2020. It looks like a blip on the radar if you zoom out. But if you look at it zoomed in, you go, well, the world's ending. Yeah. Keep that in mind. All right, let's get to some bets. And by the way, if any of you guys, like Brett Hunter, good stuff, man. He said afternoon, all 3 straight days, 20+ units, a perfect day to make it 4 in a row. Damn right it is, man. Obscene. Smoked Sugar House and already limited on NBA 3-point props. Yeah, get it while the getting's good on Sugar House because it won't be good forever. But if you guys could be so kind, you want to showcase your wins, also help your boy out, go check my pinned tweet, Laffy_D on Twitter, LOUGHY_D. And if you've had results using the Portfolio EV tools, you would take a screenshot of your bet tracker, throw it down there, show people that this stuff works. Really good stuff. So appreciate you. Like Michael said, I cleared 3K profits this month for the first time in my life. Love the tool. Awesome. Yeah. Hit me up down there below in those comments over on that tweet too, if you don't mind. Appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. Decent amount of games. A lot of hockey. There were a lot of shots on goal props when I woke up today. Looks like we still have some now. It's been a very profitable bet. At sometimes it feels like a money glitch, but NBA's actually been better to me lately than NHL has, believe it or not, over the past like month and a half, Greg.
Yeah, especially because of, well, the run we just talked about post All-Star break. Then another part of it too is there's just more markets to bet in NBA than there is in NHL. So it would be cool if we had like 70 shots on goal props to find each day, because individually they're really profitable. But usually it's like I'll get like 8, 10, 12 shots on goal props, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I bet the really high OS rating NHL points props as well. But yeah, if it was the same amount of volume of NHL bets as NBA bets, then I think I'd be doing better with NHL. I've got a higher ROI with NHL, just more volume with NBA.
We got some promos going on today as well, so we can have some fun with that. I don't think we hit our parlays for them yesterday. One of them was 3 of 4, though. One of them we had 3 of 4 legs, but guess what? It doesn't matter. You can't be the guy going, oh, I lost by 1 leg. Yep, that's why parlays exist. However, we hit one big on Friday. I think today may be our day to bounce back. FanDuel's got a 50% profit boost on same game parlays. Also, Greg, 25% profit boost on any NBA game today. So that's kind of exciting. Usually we're kind of limited to some type of strict configuration as far as these props go, or these promos go. Doesn't appear to be the case. I'm going to claim it now and see if I can just throw up a random prop and see what happens.
By the way, while you're doing it, really quick, because I see we've got 3 BetMGM props at the top of the board. We could build, I bet this might be the highest ROI parlay that we've been able to build on this show. If we just go into BetMGM and let's see. All right. Yeah. If we were to just make one right here with these 3 legs, which is Matt Duchene under 1.5 shots on goal, Yves Missi for under 9.5 rebounds, and Leon Draisaitl for under 2.5 shots on goal. Pretty solid plus 853 parlay with a 17% expected EV, 12% win rate. So these are the kinds of things that I've been betting at BetMGM. And we've talked about this, you and I, Lofty, privately as well as on the show a little bit. I opened up a fresh BetMGM account. I've placed 0 single bets. I've only bet round robins and parlays. I'm not maxing out the amount of dollars I could bet on each parlay because I'm trying to not get detected there. But just building a lot of these parlays where I'll throw anywhere from like $30 to $80 on them. I've been doing this for a few months now and have not been limited on BetMGM, which has been really, really good for me. So stuff like this, either turn this into a round robin or a parlay. And there's some variance to it when you're betting parlays and round robins as opposed to singles. But over time, I think this is going to be a way that you could avoid having your accounts be limited while still being really profitable in the long run.
Yeah, and that one right there, specifically, if you scroll down, Missi under 9.5 boards, Duchene under 1.5. That's Duchene, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Duchene from Dallas.
Under 1.5 shots on goal. And Drysdale, it's hard for me to see it, but I assume that's what it is.
Yeah, it's
Draisaitl
for under 2.5 shots on goal. And for comparison, this is plus 828 on Hard Rock, so still pretty good line there. Plus 717 on ESPN, so slightly positive. Then you start to look at some other books. It's plus 641 over on FanDuel, so that's negative EV. And yeah, plus 563 on Rebet. So BetMGM, you get a much better line here than any other book.
You know, I wanted to show, I was doing my solo show on X yesterday, and I thought, because it's kind of running out of bets, we had pretty much bet everything. I was at the end of the show. I wanted to show people something because I had seen a tweet from a guy who, you know, on Twitter is relatively popular. I don't know him. I have no feelings about him. I don't know if he's good or bad. It's unimportant. But he's like, if you're somebody that bets parlays every day, essentially like you're a moron or you don't know what you're doing, which I assume would be a moron, or you're a scam. I don't know what he was saying. But I want to show you guys something. Because most people, the large majority of people that bet parlays are going to lose because they're going to do it wrong. But if you pull all of those out of there for a second, Greg, if you just remove all 3 of those legs, just to demonstrate something here. Add the top 2 legs, right? I'll show you. What I want to show you, so that's 11% EV. If you are adding plus EV legs to a parlay, add a third one there, add that Draisaitl one, the EV is going to go up, okay? Add one more. Add that Luka Doncic one as well while we're at it. The win percentage is going to go down, but the EV is going to go up. right? The expected value. So you're going to lose this more times than you win it, obviously, especially as you add more legs. But adding plus EV legs to a parlay is still a plus EV wager. You're just dealing with more variance. You're going to deal with more swings. If you were to clear all of those, Greg, and add real quickly, scroll down to where we have no EV bets. Scroll down to the, okay, yeah. So go down to, do we, okay, yeah. Any of the, we don't have, damn, yesterday we actually had ones that were like 0 or worse than 0. Unimportant. My point is that if you were to add those, each one you add, the EV is going to go lower into the negatives, right? So you're stacking bad bet on top of bad bet, making an extraordinarily bad bet, or you're stacking good leg on top of another good leg, and you're making it a higher EV bet. It's just the fact that you're going to win it less, as you always would, but it still has positive expected value. Want to throw that out there for people who don't fully understand how parlays work in that respect.
Yeah, and like you said, it actually is more plus EV. It's not even neutral, as you just pointed out there. It's more plus EV. The inverse is true as well because it's multiplicative. So if you were to play two negative EV bets together, then it becomes even more negative EV.
Yep.
So yeah, it is something that it's kind of tricky. And I've always struggled a little bit with it doing content because, like you said, the majority of people who are betting parlays are multiplying bad bets together. So that's why I kind of like my default reaction to individual people is to tell them, don't bet parlays. You're better off betting singles. It's more so because I know what those people are doing with the parlays.
Right.
But the reality is, yeah, if you're a plus EV better, you should be stacking up. If you're trying to absolutely maximize the amount of EV you could get, then yeah, by stacking them up, you're going to get yourself even a higher plus EV bets.
100%. Steven mentioned the FanDuel boost is a live boost. Yeah, I noticed that, Steven, when I tried to place one a second ago. But all right, so we got MGM in. Is there anything on FanDuel that might stand out for us as far as parlays go here?
Potentially. Let's see.
See if we can find anything. Maybe we got something good on FanDuel. It looks like these are spots that probably stay away from.
Yeah, like I said, I bet the points. Sometimes you'll see the points prop, especially early in the morning. There's some of the points bets that are because it's negative HOR, but only slightly negative HOR points for us in hockey on FanDuel. But you'll see some ones that have like 10 EV or 8 EV and like 15 to 20 OS ratings. Those ones I usually bet in the morning, and then they're usually gone after like 30 minutes or something like that. And I typically don't end up betting them later on the day. You and I have talked about assists. That's not a market that you or I typically bet on FanDuel. So you
refresh that real quick. A Mason Plumlee just came through that I bet. Rebounds. Maybe it's a little. There he is. Mason Plumlee under 5.5 rebounds.
I'll check.
And that's for FanDuel. Decent enough bet for me. Anytime I get rebound bets on FanDuel, I'm going to bet them.
Here it is. Yeah, we got Mason Plumlee under 5.5 rebounds, minus 112. Yeah, this one looks pretty solid. I'll bet it as well.
Yeah, FanDuel's a tough one. No joke. FanDuel, I had a great day yesterday on FanDuel, but you got to be selective. You know, you have to be. Points and rebounds for basketball, shots on goal for NHL. There was only a couple of NHL games, but all in all, there are markets there that you can beat. You just got to be careful. Because if you're reckless there, and I can speak from experience, it'll get you. It'll definitely get you. But yeah, so the Plumlee rebounds, I don't think any of these points props are bad per se. To me, they're basically like break even on the year from a historical ROI standpoint. But they're not spots that I'm jumping to get to either, Greg.
Yeah, actually, if we go to the lab here, which is if you guys have used the tools before, EV results tool, just the UI changes now. This is called the Portfolio Lab. So if we go to the current season, I'll go NHL. Where is FanDuel? And then total points. So you'll see if I leave the OS rating at 0, it's slightly negative for the season, negative 0.5. But if you make the min OS rating 2 for the season, then it's 4.4%. So that's usually what I do, is anything above 2. And
Yeah.
then I've started to have some success with it. It just, they typically only exist early in the morning, and then those bets are gone.
Yeah, that's on 800 bets too. So not a terrible sample either. Not bad. Yeah. So at the really low OS ones, I'm probably staying away from as well. Do we have any bets on DraftKings right now? Usually we have a ton, but I didn't see a whole lot going on with DraftKings. I'm going to pull it up on mine and see if we have anything too. We have another, matter of fact, we have another good bet on DraftKings or FanDuel right now. Braden Point under 2.5 shots on goal. That's a good one. Shots on goal on FanDuel. What's the HROI on that? I mean, that's been
very high,
fantastic this season. 10% with a lot of bets too, right? If you go to historical results.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like 2,600.
Yeah. My guess is this one moves quickly. And that's really all you can ask for, right? It's at minus 135. This is FanDuel specifically, because I would imagine if you expand that, Penny's got it at like minus 160 or something. Yeah, you bet it in one spot, unless it's available in other spots as well. Pete, what is the cutoff as it pertains to OS rating for you guys to take the bet? Depends entirely on the market for me, entirely on the bet type. Greg, can you expand Braden Point there and just go to the data so I can see what the other books are at?
Yeah. So other books here, you can see it right here. BetMGM also has the same line.
Yeah. And Rusty, I'm trying to, I mean, 100 bets a day if you can, 150 if you can. Just anytime you can, go in and place as many bets. That's all. That's all. We actually have a decent amount popping up on FanDuel, which is nice. Anytime these show up, what time is it?
120.
120. I have decent volume on FanDuel so far today. It's just surprising that there's less there on DraftKings.
Yeah, I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe earlier today, I think most of the bets from my thread have been posted as BetMGM bets. Yeah, so a little bit less DraftKings than normal now that you bring it up.
Yeah, it's odd. By the way, you guys want to try this tool out. The first week is 100% free. Just expand the description here in the show. Click that link where it says sign up for Portfolio EV. First week's 100% free. Get as many bets as you can. Download the app. Turn on notifications. If you need help, Greg and I are always there to give you a hand, whether it's in Discord or it's in DMs on Twitter. And get as many bets down. Get on as many books as you can. You're going to see results. I bankrolled a buddy of mine, a casual bettor, to see what would happen, Greg. This was Friday. And I told him, just start betting, right? Just start betting. Showed him the ropes. He's up. He started with 1,000. He's up 230, and he started on Saturday. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Granted, he started at a wonderful time. Don't get me wrong. You can start at good times. You can start at rough times. But that's a pretty significant ROI for his first 3 days. I'm hoping to see if we can keep it running. But yeah, man, first week, 100% free. Check it out.
It's funny how a lot of people's reaction, and I get why this ends up being the case. It's going to be the same for DFS, for betting, whatever it may be, where if somebody does really well, like right away out of the gate, they're going to think it's the greatest thing ever. If they do really poorly right out of the gate, they're going to give up and think, oh, this is the worst thing ever. In reality, though, like if you kind of like what you said before, if you zoom out and look at the big picture, like how many times over the course of the last, before Portfolio EV, when you and I were just using the OddsShopper projections, even before we had the Portfolio EV tools, we still had the same, projections algorithm. How many times do you think you and I have had 3 losing days in a row or 3 winning days in a row? And you just don't think of it anything at the time because you're so accustomed to the tools. But when it's your first experience right out of the gate, like you're going to be really heavily influenced by those first few days. But if you're going really well your first 3 days, don't overreact. But same thing on the other side. If you're going poorly your first 3 days, don't overreact to that either. Like, don't think, oh, I have to put way more money or jump ship or anything like that. Just try to stay even keeled.
Power through it, baby. You'll start seeing results, no doubt. Milo, sorry. There's been a ton of Fanatics bets recently. Yeah, dude, if you can get action, if you can get volume on Fanatics, hammer it. Just my recommendation, keep your bet size relatively small. Try like instead of a recommended bet size of 62, do 60. Instead of 40, or 45, 3, do 40, 45. Just try and fly under the radar as long as you can. If you can get a good account health on those rec books like that, you're going to be in better shape than I am. I'll tell you that much for sure.
There was a change. I don't know what the change was, but Fanatics changed something this week because my min bet went from $8. This is not like a big deal, but my min bets there went from $8 to $20. Or sorry, my max bet went from 8. Yeah.
Wait, you're still betting at Fanatics?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
That's awesome. I know. I should probably just, if I could get 20, do we have a mass entry tool for that?
We don't. It's not that many bets per day, but so I've just because there's no reason for me to not to, I feel like I bet on Fanatics when stuff shows up, but it'd be like one bet every other day. Starting this week, it went from $10 max bet or $8 to $10 max bets to $20 max bets. And I'm starting to get like 5-ish bets per day. So
so the volume's trickling up and they slightly raised your limits.
Yes. So I think they changed. I don't know what they changed, but it seems like something's different, or it's just a coincidence. I don't think it is, though.
I don't know if any of you guys had this happen, but Greg and I thought we were about to, we found the goose that laid the golden egg earlier this year. Do you remember at the beginning of the NBA season? You know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, DraftKings.
Where DraftKings just somehow lifted our limits inexplicably. And we're like, well, if this is the case, and then a week later, it's like, they caught on. But
yeah, to open up this, for whatever reason, to start the NBA season for the first week, it wasn't unlimited, but it was like you could bet $80, $100 on props. And it was like, oh, this is sick. And then, yeah, it was 5-6 days later, it was back to like $7, $13 bets, but it was a good week.
Fun while it lasted. Rusty, what percent of bankroll do you do each day? Well, if you have a smaller bankroll and you could use your whole bankroll each day, I would do the entire bankroll. The buddy of mine who I mentioned to you that I, set him up and bankrolled him to see how this would do. He's a casual bettor. I want to see. It was $1,000, and I told him I want you to get this down every single day, and then if you get it to 2,000, bet the entire 2,000 every day. If you get it to 5,000 and you can get 5,000 down every day, get it down every day. If you start thinking about this, like you're not risking $5,000 on a bet, right? This would be $5,000. You're probably spreading that out across 100+ bets. You're diversifying, right? Think of it as a diversified portfolio. You were investing. Once you stop thinking about like, oh, fuck, I have my whole bankroll in today. This could be horrible. It doesn't work like that. It's not like Greg going, all right, well, I got a $50,000 bankroll. I'm going to make 3 bets, of 15,000 each. And if you lose all 3 of them, it's catastrophic. It doesn't happen because that's the whole point of diversification, grinding small edges, right? So that's one thing to just like jam through your head, that don't worry about getting your whole bankroll down. Ideally, if I could get my whole bankroll down every day, I would without hesitation do it every time. I know you would as well.
It's also it feels different, but it's no different than placing a bet on different days because they're uncorrelated events. Great, so yeah. Whether you're getting all that money in play on, a handful of different games on a Monday, it doesn't matter if you have if you were to just say like, oh, I can't have more than 50% of my bankroll in play for what reason? Like Luffy said, it matters if it's just on 3 bets and you're just going like all in on something. But if you're volume betting and it's kind of spread out across different bets, it's really no different than placing a bet on a Monday than placing another bet on a Tuesday.
Yep, exactly. So do it. Brett said that was the hardest part to get through mentally, but now I'm numb to all of it. That's it, brother. You got to get numb. It's so true. You got to just get numb. Once you can go to sleep without looking at how any of your bets have done and then waking up in the morning and then checking it, you've seen the light. I'm not saying you have to. Yeah, Mr. Mike said I'm a robot. So Mike, it's funny. I made a video on here on this channel and I said that exact thing. I said, you have to become a robot. You have to bet like a robot. It's not a bad thing though. Don't be a robot to your family. But from a betting perspective, it's good. It's good.
The
Yeah.
other the other part of that too is because it was kind of related to I had a bet. It ended up getting corrected, but I had a bet that was misgraded yesterday, and the only reason I even made a note of it is because I was going to for my thread. I was going to grade it however BetMGM graded it. It was I had Anthony Edwards under 38.5 PRA. He finished with 38. It was listed as 38 on BetMGM. They just graded it as a loss, and I said, however they end up grading on BetMGM, that's how I'm going to grade it for the thread. And people were replying to me and they're like, how are you not upset? You see people all the time too who are like at NBA, fix this stat, please. This player missed a rebound, this player missed an assist. We don't realize there's going to be things that, first, a lot of the stats are subjective, what you think should be an assist or shouldn't be an assist. But also, for every time that one goes in your favor, one's going to work against you as well. And it just comes out in the wash over time. So it's related to this entire thing with not obsessing over the individual results. Just kind of place the bets, keep an eye on how it's going, look at your portfolios, look at the EV results tool. You could rebalance them. Don't obsess over each individual bet.
Ever. That's what I'm talking about, what you just said. It should be checking your results afterwards, seeing what bets have done well, what markets haven't, what books you're doing better on than others. I haven't been doing as well in hockey for a decent stretch. I've limited my bet size a little bit there and up my bet size where I can on FanDuel. Did you see the guys complaining about the Hartenstein rebound the other day?
No, maybe.
Right, to be fair,
I just see people complain about stats constantly.
To be fair, though, I feel like he should have got credited with the rebound. And usually I'm fully against those people. I thought they had a bit of a case for it there, to be completely honest. Jalen, he said, when you do mass bet, is it fine to do bets on props you've already placed bets on, or should you never place multiple bets on the same prop? Well, if you're limited and you can bet it again with limits to get more down, that's good. But no, I wouldn't be trying to double bet something if I already got my recommended bet size down on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, if I do this for my thread, it doesn't matter as much if, like Lofty said, you're limited. But if you're getting your recommended bet sizes down, I generally, if you do hand select your bets and you got a little bit more time, I would avoid doing something like let's say Jason Tatum, there's an under points and under rebounds and under assists and an under PRA prop that are on the board. I wouldn't bet all of them because that is kind of betting the same thing multiple times.
I do, to be honest. But
yeah, so I do, but it's because I'm not able to max out my bankroll.
Right. I also do it because a lot of times with stuff like that comes out in the wash as well. Like you're going to have days where it looks bad because all of them went over. Then there's going to be other days where you bet like 3 unders on 3 different players and they all had bad games and, and you're 9-0 in those 3 spots. But yeah. And if you guys have questions, obviously always hit us up. We're happy to help you. Any other bets pop up on the board here that we haven't touched on yet?
Yeah, we had a BetMGM one that came up here that I threw in a parlay with while we were talking. We got LeBron James under 7.5 assists plus 135. Assists always a market that I try to include in my parlays and round robins over on BetMGM. So trying to pull the drop down menu here, but this is, it's plus 135 on BetMGM. It's plus 116 on FanDuel. It's plus 110 on DraftKings. Pinnacle has that at plus 106. We have the fair line at plus 117. So pretty good line on under 7.5 assists for LeBron here.
Yeah. Other books hit 8.5, but it doesn't seem to matter. It's still a good spot there. Did RSR Thompson bet win yesterday or no?
I'm fairly sure it did.
I think it did.
I'll double check. I'm almost positive it did.
The closing line value we got on that specific bet was one of the most absurd things I've ever seen.
Yeah, he finished with 3 rebounds, so it won pretty easily.
Oh man, that's what we should have double bet. We should have double bet it when they dropped it down to 5.5 as well at plus money.
Yeah, because we bet it at
6.5.
under 6.5 rebounds at like minus 146 or something like that. And then it went to under 5.5 at like plus 130. And then as we're doing the show, like you saw it keep moving where it was like plus 130, plus 120, plus 118, plus 112. I didn't see where it closed at,
Plus
but yeah, that was
105,
one
I
that
think.
it kept moving and was still plus EV the entire time.
Yeah, yeah. The tools were all over that. That was actually my biggest bet of the night on FanDuel too, where I can still, bet. But yeah, that's why I use the recommended bet size too. It's only going to tell you what to bet based on your bankroll, based on how good the play grades out. And I will say I adjusted if I'm betting something that doesn't have a great historical ROI. So I won't necessarily follow that, Greg. What I mean is, let's say I was going to bet that Justin Falk prop right there, St. Louis, that Blues prop under a half a point. It's basically, for the most part, been kind of a plus. Although I will say OS rating of 5. So we know that historically that has been a good bet. What is it? 2+ OS rating has been around the 4 historical ROI. But even so, I generally still would bring my bet size down a little bit on spots like that. Whereas rebounds and points on FanDuel, assists on DraftKings or MGM, I'm going to bet as much as I can.
Yeah, and by the way, JA, I'm replying to. Well, I was going to type out our sponsor just to answer it here. He wanted to know what happened to Bet365. They removed our API access, so we're trying to figure out a way to get it back on the site. We'll have it eventually, but right now we don't have Bet365 props. For that reason, it's not on our end; it's on theirs. And then JA also wanted to know any chance of adding Euro books. Which ones? Let me know because I'm not familiar with which books are European. I assume you don't know either.
Oh, me? No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's a few of them that I see all the time getting spammed under my responses. Nothing against Euro books. It's just people like to use that. It's like Bet365. They love using Bet365. But yeah, let us know which ones you're thinking of. Well, look, our goal is to eventually get as many books as we can. That's the goal. It'd be great for me too. Great for me.
The more, the better. By the way, since we've been doing this show, I'm getting, ever since it got brought up, I think I'm getting an alert for a highly rated Fanatics bet every 2 minutes during the time.
Go to Fanatics. Go build a Fanatics portfolio real quick. There's people on there. And just do it whatever. Just do Fanatics, all sports, and then make it like an OS rating of 1. See what happens.
Yeah, I know there's one that just showed up for here, Fanatics. Yeah, here there's well, I guess a lot of people aren't going to have access to bet college basketball. I can where I'm at. If you guys can right here, but I mean, look at this one right here. Whoever the hell this is, Dominic Clifford. I assume that's Air Force he's playing at, not that he's playing in the air. And yeah, 17 OS rating.
Aton had said to me that our assist props in basketball, college basketball, because I can't bet them in PA, have been dominant. So if you guys are in states where you can bet college basketball props, make sure you have a fine-tuned portfolio for college basketball. I have one for when I go to New Jersey and stuff like that.
Let's see, Clifford. You know what's weird? So Hard Rock, because I could bet college basketball props from New Jersey, but they don't list them for New Jersey and Hard Rock. So I can't figure out who could actually bet college basketball props on Hard Rock.
So if you were to click on that, it wouldn't take you to the bet?
No, it just says it doesn't exist.
Click it.
Yeah.
So it's just not there. You're right. They don't even have props listed. Yeah.
So I get this. It does. I've tried all the time. I see one of these pop up, and just because I'm curious, and every single time it's one or more of your selections. Not a bet. It's not more. It's only one. I only clicked on the one bet. But yeah, that's every single time I've ever tried to bet college basketball on Hard Rock. I don't know why.
So let's see. How many Fanatics bets are up right now? Why don't we build a Fanatics parlay? I mean, this is prime for that. I don't want to add the college one just because a lot of people can't bet it. But
yeah, fair.
This is the parlay builder too, guys. If you're using the PortfolioEV tools and stuff, you're using it, you want to try the free week I mentioned, links in the description of the video. or in my bio if you're watching on X. If you wanted to do that and you're exploring everything, Parlay Builder is included as well. So you get access to that and the Discord and all that stuff. All right, let's see. You want to add Santi Aldama?
Yeah. So we won't do the Clifford one, but we could do Aldama. Pretty easy, actually. We've got 3 bets here that have a 2 OS rating or higher. So we'll just add these ones in.
I'm curious to see where other books have them. Okay, so Caesar's a plus 422.
Yeah, for whatever reason, other books don't have these lines up, but we've got Santi Aldama under 6.5 rebounds, Josh Green under 9.5 points, Harrison Barnes under 17.5 PRA. So that's plus 495 odds over on Fanatics with a 7% expected EV. And also, Fanatics has a parlay boost token today as well.
Oh, they do. What's the boost? And is it same game or any parlay?
I think both they have for today. Like I said, they made some sort of changes this week because this was not something they offered until today.
I wonder if they're trying to get more people over there.
Could
but
be.
Why would they be trying to get more top-down bettors over there?
Trying to get anybody on their site be a different strategy than they've ever gone with before.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I lasted 3 days, but that was kind of my fault. All right, so wait, are you plugging these in?
I'm looking to see what the actual promo is.
I wanted to see if you could get the boost in there too. Are you logged in from your computer to click bet now? And
I'm not.
That'd be cool to see in real time what this boost gets us to.
I also don't even know what actually Fanatics might only have I don't know if Fanatics has a desktop site.
They have to. Yeah, they have to. Doesn't matter. Maybe they don't. Let's see. Play casino. Click get started. Now
it takes you to that to download the app.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have a desktop site.
That's wild. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, if you were to add those 3 up, we're already getting, scroll up to see the EV on this. 7% EV. And isn't that funny, man? Like even sports books are going away from desktop. Ben Rasa will be the last person on earth who still bets on a desktop. I know some people do it. I would if my geolocation wasn't always a problem, but it's like 95% of people who bet on sports bet from their phone. Either way, 7% EV, 18% X-Win. Just curious here. If you added that Torian Prince at plus 105, I don't know if that moves the needle enough, really. I'd probably go with the 3
slightly higher, also brings the expected win down a little bit. 9% chance of winning, 8% chance of winning, 9% EV.
Not bad. Not bad. Is there anything out there? And by the way, this is Santi Aldama under 6.5 boards. Josh Green under 9.5 points. You guys know why there's a lot of unders. Harrison Barnes under 17.5 PRA and Torian Prince under 1.5 threes. If you wanted to remove that threes leg, go for it. Water it down, as some would say. But I'd probably bet it with the 3 legs here.
The other thing also, if you do have the ability to bet college basketball, if you add the Dominique Clifford assist prop in here, then it is a 14% expected EV.
For a 3 leg? Or
this
4
is
leg?
For a 4 leg.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks really good. Oh, if you're in one of those states, you need to add that as the first leg into the parlay. For sure. Brett said you can add, hold on, what is he saying? DK 25% same game parlay. Go to DraftKings. Oh, we got a few things up.
Yeah, so it would be all right. So he's looking at the Boston-Houston game.
Except Boston's not playing Houston.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Boston and Toronto. Where's the Toronto legs?
I think it would be Houston-Milwaukee that makes the most sense here.
Here's where I got confused because he said same game parlay and he had Tatum, Brooks, Thompson, Green.
Maybe the same game parlay X.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I misunderstood what he was
See.
saying.
Hold on. Let's see if that works. Start adding these, Greg. I'm going to try and do it.
Okay. So Brooks, Amin Thompson, and who's the other player from Houston or Milwaukee? Yep. Jalen Green, under 24.5 points. I think that's what he said. All right. Yeah. He said Green points, Thompson assists, Brooks threes. Okay. And then it would be adding Tatum assists as well.
Okay. Let me see. So Tatum, Brooks. You said Amin Thompson was one of them?
Yeah. Amin Thompson under 4.5 assists.
Got it. And then what was the last one? Jalen Green points?
Yeah, Jalen Green under 24.5 points.
So is that 3 from Houston? Yeah, and then one. Okay, got it. Okay, so let's see. Greg, it's plus 1295 is what they're giving us. Now, let me see what happens if I opt into this boost.
So for reference, we need to be getting odds of like better than plus 1,500.
Why do they do this shit? Brett, do you have that put in there? Let me know what it is. Do you have it? Did you put it in with the same game parlay X? No, because I tried to do it and it lets me bet it. And then it's like same game parlay plus one single. Doesn't call it a same game parlay X. And then,
I think for the same game parlay X, well, Brett says he was able to do it. It took it to 17.22.
He was, but you have to go in. You can't load it from the. What I'm saying is you can't load it from the parlay builder.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but anyway, he just told. Yeah, boost take plus 1720. Then that would be, yeah, that would be a positive EV bet. Sure. Yep. Definitely.
We Want Justice TV says he just signed up. All right. So you've just signed up. He wants to know where do you find the bets? All right. So if you go to the top bets page, make a portfolio, just press create portfolio and start by selecting the sports books that you're using, whichever ones you have access to. So let's just say for here, if you were to go FanDuel and DraftKings, that's going to be just most standard, what most people use. And then under advanced settings, I recommend just to start to get yourself going, set it to a min OS rating of 2. You could also play around with the portfolio lab, look at the results and fine tune some of the selections there. But the easiest way to start, just select the sports books that you're going to be betting on and then select min OS rating of 2 and then filter out negative HRY bets, which you could do from here. If you go to the filter, and then you could turn off show negative HRY bets.
And if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the Discord too. You get everybody, you get Discord access as well. You get Discord access. Scroll down. What else do we have here? We built
some more BetMGM lines that popped up. Nick Richards under 18.5 PRA. By the way, We Want Justice TV. I feel like I just answered your question. Let me know if that didn't follow or if there's something you're confused about. Hit me up in Discord. Like Lofty said, Discord comes with any subscription you have to our site, whether it's the DFS side, sports betting side, it comes with Discord access. But I think that should answer your question, unless I misunderstood what your question is.
No, I think you hit it. But we're always happy to help. Just hit us up off the show, and we'll take care of you. I just bet a Caesars prop as well. Just got one in on Caesars. Did his plus EV. DeAndre Hunter under PRA minus 124 or 125. PRA has been really good to me on Caesars lately. Really good.
What's the Not that it's necessarily put like so. It's funny. PRA is really good on BetMGM. It's like slightly negative on FanDuel. It's slightly positive on DraftKings. I feel like it's the market that has the biggest range of outcomes across different
Definitely.
books because certain books it's the best market, other books it's the worst market.
You know what my worst market on Caesars has been points. I stopped betting points on Caesars.
Yeah, points is another one where it's fun. Points is the weakest market, or no, rebounds is the weakest market on BetMGM, but it's the best market on FanDuel. And then points is also good on FanDuel, but then there's other. It's weird how how
Super
certain
weird.
books are much sharper in other markets than other books.
And like FanDuel with assists is absurd. You just stay away from assists on FanDuel,
Yeah,
but you should hammer it on BetMGM and DraftKings and
correct.
Onyx. Does Onyx have anything positive right now? They have really been moving quick. I'm getting bets down each day. I'm getting enough, but I got to be quick.
Not really. There's Jalen Green under 24.5 points, which we included in our parlay before. This is one that's slightly plus EV. But other than that, not too much for Onyx. Nothing above a 2 OS rating.
I'm not surprised. And just one more time, sort by FanDuel. And by the way, Greg has an account set up for OddsShopper specific for this show. Our portfolios look a little bit different when we're doing them on our own, where we'll sort things by like sport and sportsbook and stuff so you can get more granular with them for sure. Like what I'm saying is if he were scrolling his own, I don't think you would have like NBA assists popping up here, right? Like I don't. And I do have an NHL. I have a FanDuel points portfolio specifically that I usually have unselected, but I do have a FanDuel specific portfolio for point props. But yeah, usually I just have positive HROI stuff up there.
Kind of interesting. The Braden Point one's still up just because FanDuel almost always
moves those super fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually the shots on goal props for FanDuel, like you see them there, it's like, oh shit, I've got 18 seconds to get this bet in or else it's going to be removed from the board. So kind of interesting. This is still up here.
I'm a little surprised, but my guess is it'll move. There we go. There we go. Jabari Smith, baby. Let's get it in.
Got Jabari Smith under 5.5 rebounds. To log myself back into FanDuel because they log me out every 10 minutes for no reason.
So frustrating when they do that, and by the time you get logged back in, it's gone.
That, or when you're trying to update lineups for NBA DFS and you've got a limited amount of time and it's just authenticate you're a human and slates 3 minutes.
Yeah. All right. We're in. Do you still not have cash out options available to you on FanDuel?
I don't for anything.
It's crazy. I do. Like for usually they would only allow me to cash out if it was like I got really good odds movement and usually on an over bet. I now have the ability to cash out exactly what my wager is on every single bet. This has been going on for the last week. Unless, of course, it moves against me. Isn't that wild?
If it moves against you, is it no cash out option or it's just like
No, it's usually a lesser cash
okay,
out
gotcha.
option. Or if it moves so much in my favor, they just basically don't even have a cash out option anyway. So yeah. Interesting stuff. Because that was not the case at all.
There's a Tatum rebound bet up here as well. I bet this one earlier, but it's here too. Under 8.5 rebounds for Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I bet that one and actually moved against me. That's the only bet I have that moved against me. I bet it at minus 114.
I might have bet that same number. Let me see. I bet it at minus 112.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have for Tatum bets on FanDuel, I have under 25.5 points at minus 102 and under 8.5 rebounds at minus 112.
Well, better bet now then.
And
Anything else you
I
want to dig
also
into before we go?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I said anything else you want to dig into before we go. And by the way, we're going to be doing another giveaway tomorrow with parlays. Just now that we'll have more on the board. We have like what, a 10, 11 game slate tomorrow for NBA. We're going to have a lot of bets, I think. So I'll save the next giveaway for any of the parlays we hit. You guys get the payout as long as you leave a comment in here, any of that stuff. So anyone who leaves a comment today will be eligible for tomorrow. That way it'll make it easier for me to get a hold of you guys. But yeah, we'll build a bunch out tomorrow.
I'm just scrolling through it. It looks like we've bet pretty much all the higher rated stuff as of right now. We still got that LeBron bet up here. We've got the Matt Duchene one that we included in the BetMGM parlay at the top. That's the one of all the things that we placed on the show. That was pretty clearly to me the highest plus EV was that BetMGM parlay that we did out of the gate.
Yep, by far. And then if you add that college prop to it, it goes through the roof. All right, appreciate you guys. We will be back tomorrow, Greg, 1 o'clock. Don't we have 10 or 11 NBA games tomorrow? There's a lot.
9, still a good amount though.
Is it 9? That's
yeah.
Fine. That's fine. We should have plenty of opportunities here. Portfolio EV, man, come join us. Come join us. What are you waiting on? First week's free. Links in the description. Or if you're on X, watching on X, it's in my bio, that link right there. You're not going to click it. It's not going to just be me standing there with my hog out. This is actually going to take you to a site where
you're I'm not tuning in then.
Take you to a site where you're going to make some money. First week, 100% free. Hit us up if you have questions. We're always happy to help. Let's make some money together. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 1 Eastern. Peace.